those of you that live in cold weather parts of the country, this is that time of year where golf fever reaches a peak and your club or your favorite local course starts to do all of those preparatory things to open the golf course for you to come and play. We often talk about those preparations on the outside of the property, but we rarely think about what happens inside the pro shop. Well, I couldn't be more excited to take these next few minutes and introduce to all of you something that's happening on the inside the pro shop part of the world as we announce a new partnership with the wonderful brand of Donald Ross Sportswear. And I'm thrilled. I got the boss with me and the vice president with me. So we welcome in Rob Stein, who is the CEO, and John Boland, who's the vice president of sales and marketing, kind of to officially celebrate the start of a partnership and talk about this unique company and its apparel brand. So, John, all apologies to you, but I probably better start with the boss. Rob, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Bill?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And for those who are seeing our conversation, I've set up a little display of just a small sampling of the line of apparel in the world of Donald Ross, and it is spectacular. This is the first time, as we speak, literally the first time that I've actually put on our logoed shirts and been ready to kind of tell the world about what's happening. So, Rob, in advance of the rest of our conversation, thanks. It's good to have you guys on.
You're very welcome. It's great to be on board. Michigan's one of the greatest, top 4 or 5 states for golf, and you've got a really top-notch show here, and looking forward to getting the ball rolling with you guys.
Well, we start our conversation looking at the name, Donald Ross. And as we think about the impact of that man on the game that we all love so much, we could probably spend hours and hours talking about it. But for the two of you, when you hear the name Donald Ross, along with thinking about fantastic apparel, what comes to mind when you, I don't know, kind of ponder his impact on golf?
First of all, he set a standard for golf course architecture in the United States. Second of all, what I think of and what I've tried to translate into our brand is the consistency and the quality and the timelessness of his designs. And we've really worked hard to make sure our apparel kind of follows those same standards. I have spent my entire life in the apparel industry, and I've spent the last 25 plus years in the golf industry. I started the company in 2007, didn't launch until the end of 2008. This is our 13th year in business. Primarily, we've distributed only to on-course green grass shops. We recently, last June, launched an e-commerce site, and that's the genesis of the company. We have distribution in Canada, Europe, Australia.
Rob, I would think that as you talk about the challenges of the industry, that you had to consider all of those things before 13 years ago you decided to give this a try.
Of course not.
Why did you decide to pull the trigger? This is a daunting industry to get into.
Being poorly educated and growing up as a caddy in Chicago, this is something I've been involved in the apparel business for literally my whole entire adult life. And I had worked in the retail side of the industry for about 15 years and really found my natural home over here. Again, in 1995, I joined Bobby Jones as a sales rep in Chicago. And, I think I've got a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, obviously, and so forth. And in 2007, after working for 3 different golf apparel companies, I figured that I thought I could do better for our company and for my customers than the people I had worked for. And that's really what started it all.
And I know that one of the things that has to take place if you're going to enter this sector of golf apparel is that you got to find some way to stand out so that the average consumer says, oh, I've heard about them, or I have a buddy who wears that and he says, it's super comfortable. He always loves it. So as I sit here today wearing this shirt that I just took out of the wrapper, I've not touched it with anything else. It feels like I'm not even wearing one. It's so light, it's so smooth and comfortable. And even though our video has me from the waist up, I'm wearing a pair of your slacks, and they are like the same material as the shirt. It's
Very
really,
lightweight.
really cool. Yeah. And so, John, as you look at this challenge of standing out, what is the message of Donald Ross that
Well,
helps you do that?
I remember the first time I saw it. I had known of Rob, as he mentioned before. We were always in the industry together, and we'd see each other at the baggage claim at Buffalo International Airport, and we'd wish each other well for the season. And at that time, I was a rep for a competitor, but I remember seeing the shirt in Oakmont's golf shop, and one of the best professionals in the world, Bob Ford, saying, "Hey, Johnny, have you seen this DR shirt?" And I'm like, he's like, "It's 100% micropoly," and I'm like, Bob, that's a fad, that's not going to last. And here we are, 13 years later, one of the leaders in the industry.
Well, I mean, the designs are fantastic. For anybody who, there's a common perception among a lot of golfers, let's call it the middle of the pack golf world, the 15 to 25 handicaps, right? There's a lot of perception that you either will look like your grandpa or like Ian Poulter, right? There's no in between. And that there's only the extremes in the world of golf apparel, and that's not the case. There is such a tasteful and yet professional collection here in the world of Donald Ross. And while you've all been talking, I've been showing people some of the fabrics that we have here. And one of the things that I've been interested in, by the way, Rob, is how you name your different models. All right, so I'm holding a Connor shirt. And I could go through this rack behind me and pick out names. I don't know if these are your grandkids. I don't know if these are your neighbors. I do have a request that for next year, at least one of them be the Hobson. I mean, it sounds like that's a feasible thing.
John,
So how'd you come up with the names, Rob?
Well, funny you ask, and I'm not sure I have a great answer, but our industry started naming their models and their fabrics and so forth in the last few years. And we sit around as a group, usually crack open a Guinness or two, and try to think of like really cool names that kind of represent what we're doing. And of course, there's a tendency to lean towards Scotland and Ireland and so on and so forth. Donald Ross is a historical brand, and the name game is fun.
What is the battle like, just in a general informational basis, for those who like to tackle the business side of golf? What is that battle for shelf space like in the world of apparel? We often hear about it in other areas of retail, but I don't know much about it in the world of clothing.
There's many brands out there. We have to challenge ourselves to put out the nicest, highest quality product that will appeal to the members of these clubs, and we have to have a compelling story. I think we do. We follow the classic Donald Ross design and make sure it's a timeless and high quality.
So there is a desire and a conscious thought that this clothing needs to reflect kind of the ethos of the man, Donald Ross. Is that true, Rob?
Very much so. Yes. Yeah, I can't separate the two. I mean, as much as I can't separate the two. They really have to stay kind of in lockstep, and it's a fun formula.
Golf has been resilient, and in many cases, golf had a record year in 2020, even after a late start in many regions of the country, including mine. So we're all really, really quite excited about what lies ahead. And in our world, for those of you who are wondering, every appearance we make and every TV show that we shoot, and we're all Donald Ross from head to toe. It's going to be good stuff. And I'm really excited to introduce the brand to those in our audience who weren't familiar with it to begin with. And I just want to say thanks again to both of you for kind of the handshake, the partnership, and let's do some good things. Let's get this apparel onto more backs.
This handshake, Bill.
That's right. We'll just fist bump. We can't handshake
anymore. No, we're
That's
very excited. We're very excited about this. And look, John and I are golfers. I'm a passionate 15. John is a passionate scratch. But
Always
listen,
one
we
of
all want to
those,
get
yeah.
out and get some fresh air and have some laughs and have a good time and get some exercise. And golf is the greatest game. There's no question about it. It's really a game for life. And of course, being in this part of the country, we really start looking forward to daylight savings time. And the Masters is usually go time, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd like to think so. Now, this is the first time that I've heard that John is scratch, and I want to thank you for that information. And just in case we end up getting together to play, you've just saved me probably lunch money. So appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Great to talk with you, and great to launch the partnership together.
Look forward to it, Bill.
Look forward to it, Bill. Have a great day.